Welcome, everybody, to the You Are Worthy Network. I'm your host, Steve Wormer, and I'm excited to be with you today. You know what? For those of you watching or watching this on replay or live, you know me as Pastor Steve. You know me as the host of the You Are Worthy Network. But did you also know that I am a mindset coach called the Breakthrough Igniter? Did you know that I'm a keynote speaker? Just wanted to let you know that because I love helping people move from being stuck to igniting some momentum for you to pursue and obtain the dreams that you have that you've stuffed way too long deep down in your heart. Let's ignite those dreams together. I just wanted to put that out there. So excited to be bringing with you today another awesome special guest. I think you're going to love her. I think you're going to love the parts of her story that we tell today. You're like, Steve, just introduce us. Okay, I'll obey. I love the way she starts off her bio, too. What if the greatest barrier to healing isn't your body, but believing you're worthy of healing in the first place? After years of dealing with alopecia, I don't even know if I said that right. I probably didn't.
Alopecia.
Doc, alopecia, thank you. Dr. Jordan Graham knows firsthand what it's like to have your identity shaken and your confidence tested. That journey didn't just change her life, it transformed the way she cares for others. Today, she helps people move beyond self doubt, reconnect with their worth, and understand that true healing begins when we quit trying to fix who we are and start embracing ourselves with courage and compassion. Blending science with deeply personal experience, Dr. Jordan brings a refreshing perspective on confidence, identity, resilience, and the powerful connection between emotional well being and physical health. Her message reminds audiences that our differences aren't flaws to overcome, they're often the very things that make us powerful. A chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner, and fellowship trained expert in integrative medicine, Jordan spent a decade working in a hospital setting where she helped bridge the gap between traditional medicine and whole person care. She also holds advanced degrees in clinical nutrition and business and has developed an innovative chiropractic Pilates approach that integrates movement, structure, and metabolic health. Whether she's speaking about self worth, overcoming adversity, body image, or what it really means to heal from the inside out, Dr. Jordan leaves audiences with practical tools, hope, and a renewed belief that they are already enough. When she's not in the clinic, you'll find her on her horse, caring for her farm, or writing her upcoming hybrid memoir on identity, resilience, and healing. Oh my goodness, so much to talk about. Jordan, welcome to the You Are Worthy Network.
Wow, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So much good you're doing in the world. We'll dig into that in just a second. But why don't you tell everyone, where do you call home?
I live in Oregon City, Oregon. So the end of the Oregon Trail, if you remember your history. Um, we're a smallish town, just about 25, 30 minutes south of Portland, Oregon.
I am so glad you said Portland, Oregon,
Mhm.
because you tested my history with the Oregon Trail. I do not remember learning about the Oregon Trail. I could have been talking too much in class. That happened.
Sure.
But I don't remember them teaching that in the Midwest, in the South, primarily where I went to school.
In the Midwest, it started at Independence, Missouri.
Oh, and that see that now you've inadvertently shamed me because part of my formative years were, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. This is sad. I'm really good at geography. I went to Blue Springs High School, which is right next to Independence. You're not serious. That's where it starts?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Independence, Missouri.
It's been a while since I've.
Oh,
But
there's
I'm
gonna be a lot of.
pretty sure, but you guys could fact check me.
I'm gonna have to Google that when we're done. I'm gonna be embarrassed. But I do remember Portland's not the capital of Oregon.
No, it's
Um,
not.
oh my gosh, Salem.
Yes.
Yes, 1 out of 2. I had to recover bad. Oh my
I can't
goodness.
tell you what the capital of Tennessee is, so I'm you got me on that one.
It is easier. It should be easier. It is Nashville. It's not a trick
I was gonna
question.
say, is it Nashville?
It is Nashville. Yeah. Yeah. I like even when I said Oregon's, I had to think for a minute. I almost said Olympia, which is Washington's. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I'm confused. But anyway, um, tell us who you do life with there in south of Portland.
Who
Tell
I
us
do
about your
life with?
who do you do life with? Tell us about your family.
Yeah, my husband and I have a smallish farm in Oregon City. He is also a chiropractor, and we have one little feisty 6-year-old.
Okay, so you're going to have to define small-ish farm for me. How many acres is that?
We have a 72-acre farm where we have an equine boarding facility. So
See, I don't think that's small, but now I do have to ask you, show you know a little bit about land, just a little. How much of that is forest?
we have, I can't remember, I think we have 20-ish acres of timber, but we have riding trails that go throughout that as well.
Nice. And is that the primary use of the land is the equine purposes?
Yeah, so we have 50 stalls on property, and then the rest of the acreage is divided in pasture and paddocks, turnouts.
Nice. You don't know this about my wife, but if she was in on this conversation, she would be extremely jealous and asking when she could book a flight to come see you because she's been a
Anytime.
horse trainer off and on for a lot of years, like over 35 years. We had a mini farm, and I talking mini in another part of Tennessee. And she raised horses, groomed horses, did natural horsemanship. And then we went into the ministry, and she didn't have a horse for years. And I saw her looking online about 2.5 years ago, and I said, I think we're having a full circle moment. And yep, sure enough, she ended up buying a horse, and we don't have land, but she boards him about
Yeah.
15 minutes away. But anyway, that's super cool.
Well, she's welcome
Um,
anytime.
I,
Oh, sorry. Door's always open.
eventually. um, so what do you guys like to do for fun away from the property?
We love to travel, and we love to take our daughter different places. So usually in the summer, we'll take our fifth wheel, and our plan is to take her to all the national parks. So she's been to Yellowstone and Tetons. Mount Rushmore was what we took her to last year, and we took her before that to Crater Lake and the Redwoods. Um, this year she doesn't get to go to National Park, but she gets to go to Cabo. So we
Ooh,
like to travel is kind of one of our main things that we like to do. And we love good food, so we like to go and eat.
yeah, yeah. See, you would not be a good influence on my wife. See, and to hear me out, like she just got a truck 1.5 years ago, and she got a horse trailer, and it's nice. But she's already got her sights on a fifth wheel. She's already got her sights on a bigger horse trailer. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can't hang out with Jordan. Not quite yet.
You shouldn't hang out with my husband. My husband is the one that was like, so we went wine tasting with some friends with our fifth wheel last year for Easter, and the people that camped across the ground with us, they had a what is it, a toy hauler, and my husband's like, oh, we need one of those. and oh, we need a live-in horse trailer. And I'm like, how many trailers are you gonna get? I was like, we'd have a fifth wheel, a toy hauler, and a live-in horse trailer, and we already have a small horse trailer. So he would be the bad influence on your wife.
Oh my God. Okay. So I know we need to get off this topic, but just so the audience listening knows what you're talking about, in 30 seconds or less, tell everybody just how nice a live-in horse trailer is, all that it has.
Oh, I mean, it's essentially a horse trailer with your regular fifth wheel or RV components. So bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen. They're very nice.
Y'all heard that, right? It's got plumbing.
Oh yeah.
They are
You
the
can go
bomb.
camping with your horses and have all the
Yes.
amenities.
So for all you listeners like that understand and love horses, you're like, yes, yes. All the you that don't understand, are like, really? Like, yes, that exists. Anyway, I digress.
Sorry.
All right. No, no, I did it. So let's do this or that. And what this or that is you've seen this, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
give you an option of two choices. You pick one, don't overthink it. And of the series that I give you, I will allow you to say both to one answer.
One.
One answer. Small town or big city?
Small town.
Read the book or watch the movie?
Read the book.
Books or podcast?
I don't want to waste it. You learn so many different things. So I will use my both on this one.
Okay. I think that's wise. I think
Okay.
that's wise. I like it. Rock music or country music?
Country.
You got to do country when you're riding horses, right?
Oh, and who doesn't like Chris Stapleton?
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Cook or takeout?
Good takeout or bad takeout?
Well, if you do a takeout, it's up to you. You can get
All
whichever.
right. Good takeout.
Okay. Ice cream or pie?
Ice cream.
Lastly, and you can't insert your own answer to this, drive or fly?
Hmm. That depends on my mood and where I'm going.
Well,
I
what
wasted my
today?
both. I wasted my both.
You
But
do the boat's gone.
I'll say fly because I'm impatient and I want to get there fast.
Okay. Okay. All right. We just got a little insight to you. I mean, 'cause the reason I joked with you is like you would say, ride my horse, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't an option, but I understand the reasoning. So here's the part where we go back to your high school. We're going to go back to your senior year in high school. Graduation's on a Friday. It's Wednesday. You've got the cap, you've got the gown. Graduation's in 48 hours. I want to get into your mindset at this stage of life. Are you like, oh my gosh, how did this happen so fast? It's here. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I guess I should get a job. I'm going to give you a scenario. Uh, I guess I should get a job. I guess I'll figure things out from there. I'm going to miss this place. Far into that spectrum. Are you kidding me? 48 hours? I got to wait another 48 hours. Let's get out of this place. I got the beach ball ready for the graduation ceremony. I got plans after this. I've got a job. I'm going to keep it. I know where I'm going in the fall. I'm not going to miss this place at all. Let's go. Or are you somewhere in between?
Trying to remember. Um, I was I was kind of somewhere in between. Um, I was excited for the next step, but also fearful of it. Um, I had I was walking on to the track and field team at Eastern Washington University, so I was excited to like start practice and um, compete on a Division I team, and that was kind of a big motivator for me. And so I was really excited to start that. Academically, I was probably more nervous. Not that I did bad in high school or was poor student or anything. I love to learn, obviously, since I have tons of degrees after my name. Either that or I'm just not bright and have to continue to go to school. Um, so I've always enjoyed learning, and it was just a new adventure, and it was very exciting for me to do so. Um,
Hmm.
but and and if I think about it, I was a little excited to leave a small town. I grew up in Clicktat, Washington, which is a population of 400 people. Um, so I was excited to experience more, but also all the things that I miss, now as an adult, or all those things that a small town like Clicktat offers. Large, not a large community, but a very connected community.
Makes sense. Um, at that stage of going to, you said Eastern Washington, right?
Mhm.
Uh, were you on track and field scholarship?
No, I walked on to the track team, and my first, so Eastern Washington is a small Division I, so uh, I walked on, and my first track meet in the spring, I qualified on my first throw for regionals. And so after my freshman year, I got a full ride scholarship to throw javelin.
Oh, nice. So when you're a javelin thrower, you don't correct me if I'm wrong. Like, do you do any of the running at all, or is it all focused on that one? I just don't. Well, decathletes they do all of it, right? But javelin
Yeah.
just focuses on javelin, right?
Well, I was actually recruited as a heptathlete. So the men do the decathlete, the women do the hep, and I didn't do one hep in college. Once um, I kind of flourished in javelin, I kind of stayed there. Um, but we were kind of this middle ground because in training and conditioning, they don't you're you do a little bit of running with your approach, so your conditioning is a little bit more intense than it's always add more running than the normal thrower workout.
Mm.
But in chiropractic school, my friends would always like want to go do like half marathon and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm highly allergic to running. And they're like, you did track in college. I'm like, no, I did field. I did field in college. I ran 13 steps and half of it sideways, so I did not run.
Did you run with the discus throwers?
I mean, we had sprint workouts with the discus throwers and swim workouts, and yeah, we competed with a team. But each event, whether it was shot put, javelin, hammer, discus, shot put, we all have our thrower workouts together, and then we all have our individual workouts.
I got you. I got you. So did you do this for all 4 years?
I took a red shirt year following a shoulder surgery, and so I did 5 years.
Mm. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So you went to Eastern Washington. What did you study?
I was a biology major
What were you
with
going to do with that?
I did the pre-med emphasis. I thought I was going to be a physical therapist.
Okay. And what changed along the way?
I had shoulder surgery.
Does that
Um,
mean you didn't like physical therapy?
no, no, no. Um, I had shoulder surgery and I was spending like 2 or 3 days a week for the first little bit in physical therapy. And I loved my first physical therapist. He was amazing. And we had great rapport and he did wonders with my shoulder. Um, and it wasn't anything negative about physical therapy as a career. I just didn't see myself in that scene, in that scenario. Like I just couldn't. picture myself doing that every day for the rest of my life. Um, and fortuitously, a friend of mine, who is now my husband, um, he was 5 years older than I am, so he was a senior when I was a freshman, and I had my shoulder surgery when I was a junior. And so he had already graduated and moved, and he had called to kind of see how rehab was going and if I was going to throw that spring. Um, just be asking about, incoming freshmen and how the team looked, and he was like, "Well, how's school?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm freaking hell. I got 1.5 years left of school and 2 seasons of throwing left, and what am I going to do with a biology major? PT is what I thought I was going to do, and now I don't see myself doing that. Like, what am I going to do with this biology degree? I'm not going to teach. I'm going to be the world's worst teacher." Um, and he's like, "Well, what about chiropractic school?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And he's like, "Well, I know you, and I'm in chiropractic school right now, and I think it might be something up your alley." And I was like, I kind of think you're full of it. And he's like, "Do you know what they do?" And I was like, "Don't know, don't care." And he's like, "Well, just look into it. I'll call you in a few weeks." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna scratch it right off my list." So, because I'm a terrible liar. He will know I'm lying as soon as I open my mouth without even saying a word. Um, so I was at my PT the next day, and I was like, "Listen to this load of baloney that my friend just gave me. He says I should look into be a chiropractor." And he's like, "Actually, Jordan, that might be something right up your alley. You're an athlete. Let me give you a name. Her name is Kelly Pearson. She's a chiropractor out in Spokane Valley. She's the head chiropractor for Gonzaga. I think you might really hit it off with her and really be interested in it." And so my school advisor gave me 5 elective credits if I did an internship with her. And so I called her up and said, "Hey, I have no idea what you do. I've been told by a few people that this might be a career option for me." And she allowed me to do a preceptor or internship with her for a whole summer, and I applied for school, and the rest is history.
Wow. So, and
Yep.
that was, so how many years have you been a chiropractor now?
15. I'm going
Okay.
into my 15th year. So 15 years in November.
So husband was right, huh?
We don't like to tell him
I sense that's where it might be. Like, has that conversation come up?
he, what did he say the other day? He, it was something trivial. And I go, baby, you're right. And he's like, "Do you ever get tired of telling me that?"
Oh,
You tired of it yet?
wow. Okay. So 15 years, obviously you love it.
I do. I I
Most
did
days, right?
have most of the time, yes. I have a very unusual career as a chiropractor. About 3 to 5% of chiropractors work in a hospital-based setting, and I worked 3 years right out of school before I got hired at Oregon Health Science University, which is the med school and learning hospital here in Portland, Oregon. And I worked there for 10 years. And at the end of the last year I was there was a change in leadership, and they did mass layoffs, and they just didn't see what integrative medicine was. So they laid off all the integrative medicine providers. And so after that,
Mm.
that kind of shook me quite a bit. And if I'm completely honest with myself, it's something I probably still like more in a little bit, even though it's been a year. But it was a place where I thought I would retire. It was a place where I thought I'd be the entirety of my career. And that last year probably burnt me out a little bit. And so I kind of had to take a step back from practicing. And is this truly something that I want to do and want to continue, and kind of rediscover the joy in what I do?
So that was just a year ago.
Yeah. My last day was January 3rd, 2025.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very, very recent. So Um, yeah, I'm trying to think how I want to articulate this. So you have your own private practice now?
I kind yes, ish.
Ish. Okay.
So I've always been a full-time employee at OHSU. My husband has his own practice in Newberg, Oregon, which is about 25, 30 minutes from our farm in wine country in Oregon. And he's had that for 9 years. And so I co-own that with him, and I work there 1 day a week with him. And uh, but I also work at a buddy's clinic Monday through Thursday. So I kind of get a little bit of both worlds, right? I could just be an employee, go enjoy my job and have fun with patients, and then I could, also play that ownership role and help my husband with, what do we need to do, marketing or social media or employees or all that stuff. So I get a little
So
bit of both right now.
you do have a little both, and that helps you because it sounds like you don't have a lot of expenses that way.
I know. How do I work that out?
Right? But
So,
you've somewhere along the line, I'm interested in how this developed. Like you've branched out of chiropractic too, whole care. Um, I remember reading in your bio self-worth quite a bit. When did self-worth and overall care come into the picture? Is that something you've always been interested in, or was there something that led to that?
you know, I've that's a great question. So the right out of chiropractic school, I went back and worked for Dr. Pearson, and her clinic in Spokane is really integrated into, I mean, it's its own practice and its own standalone clinic, but they had a satellite clinic in one of the Rockwood physical therapy departments, which was a big um, health system there in the Spokane area. Um, so I've always kind of practiced like collaboratively with other providers, whether it's, one of the sports medicine doctors referring us a patient and working collaboratively with them, like their notes, like, hey, we see this, what do you see? And then seeing that inter-collaboration between the PT clinic and ourselves and how we work together. So I've always kind of practiced collaboratively with other providers. And I was probably in practice about 6 months, and just having this like string of chronic pain patients come into our clinic, and when they'd sit in front of me, like, yes, I could kind of help you with like the musculoskeletal complaints, chiropractic, viewpoint there, but like, how do we manage that chronic pain? And so I kept like delving into their like diet and lifestyle, and I was getting a little bit of a pushback, like, what do you know? You're just a chiropractor.
Mm,
And so that, so I was like, well, what else do I need to like do to kind of like better
mm,
serve this population? And so I talked to, Dr. Pearson, and she's, like, do I need to do in chiropractic field, we don't have fellowships. We have what we call diplomats, which is similarly or equivalent to that. I was like, do I need to do a diplomat in neurology or, orthopedic? Like, and she's like, actually, did you see the University of Western States, which is the chiropractic school that I had graduated from, is doing a new program. Maybe you should look into that. And so I looked into that, and they were doing a master's in functional medicine and human nutrition. And so I finished that. So I was the first cohort in that program. And that kind of functional medicine was kind of coming up at that time about, it's a whole body. Um, it's not siloed individual components. Like, we all work together, that what's mind, body, spirit, and how do we look at each area and how it coexists with the other and effects or downstream effect of one to the other. Um, and then I finished my doctorate in clinical nutrition, and I think those are partly why I got hired at OHSU is because I kind of practiced already in that kind of like whole body system where I could go into a hospital setting in the pain center and work with our allopathic care providers and medical doctors and be like, okay, this is what I see. This is what, you know, I feel that could help with this patient and complement what you're doing already. Um, and then I did a fellowship in integrative medicine because I felt like I needed to speak more of their language instead of the chiropractic language, which I think often we could be talking about the same thing, but just have a different way of like speaking, which then causes this communication barrier. So by me doing a fellowship, it was more how can I be better service to my patients? How could I be better service to my coworkers? And better service to the students that I'm teaching in the hospital.
I love that. Then they couldn't question your credentials. Well, I guess they could,
Exactly.
but
No, that is a thing too. Like 100%.
yeah, it is. It's kind of. I don't know if I can articulate it well, but it is kind of a strange thing. Like it seems like most people are they're like split, pro chiropractic, anti. It's like you don't find too many people that are meh. But I tell you, I will tell you my experience. Um, I was 31, 32 years old. I'm driving down the interstate outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I remember what I was driving at the time, but I won't go into all that. And I remember I had a can of Coca-Cola in the cup holder, and I went to do this movement right here, and my back went out. Now, I know the Coca-Cola, the 12-ounce can did not cause my back to go out. Something in the movement, the damage was already there, da 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 da.
Yeah,
Neglect,
unguarded
right?
movement, right?
Yeah. And I went to and in that moment, you just want relief, right?
Yep.
And chiropractic gave that to me and a good old ice pack. Um, and I've been going to chiropractors. Now, I am that guy. I'm probably not the kind of client you want because I'm the kind that only goes in when I need it. I'm not going in when they tell me to do the scheduled maintenance. Um, a whole other conversation. But I do. They give me a lot of relief. And I've even had chiropractors adjust my wrist
Mhm.
and my ankles. Usually you have to
I
ask
love
about
my ankles
it.
adjusted.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I
I
love it.
hate my
So
toes adjusted, but ankles are great.
yeah, I don't want anybody touching my toes anyway. But no, I love what you do. So I got to ask you before I move on to entrepreneur waters here in a second.
Yeah.
Any more continuing formal education? Any more degrees coming your way anytime soon?
Oh no, I just finished my MBA. So I'm yeah, I think I'm done with formal education. But who knows? Never say never, they say.
Never say never, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about this memoir in development.
Okay.
Tell us about it, what you can, tell us when it's going to come out, tell us what the origin of it was, tell us all the stuff.
Well, after my layoff, like I said, I'm probably more depressed than I want to admit. And so I had to, what do you say, practice what I preach.
Mm,
Um, so things that I tell patients to do to kind of help with them, try journaling, try meditation, Tai Chi, or, anything to kind of align that like mind body aspect of care. And so I was trying meditation. Um, and and I was daily journaling, daily gratitude, and meditation were the kind of the three things that I had picked to start, doing the things that I tell patients to do. And I just kept getting this. like little voice in the back of my head, tell your story, tell your story, tell your story. And I didn't quite know what to do with that. And because if you ask my mom, like when I was little, I always wanted to be a librarian and write and have books until I found I didn't make any money. And then, you know, that went, went out the window. But, and then like writing a book always kind of went off the back burner because I was like, well, I'm not, you talk about worth, I'm not worthy enough to write a book. I don't have any good stories to write a book. I'm not that creative. Like, who's going to want to read what I write? Um, and a colleague and a friend of mine who had done the fellowship with me, who I met during the integrative medicine fellowship, he had just published his book. So I just texted him. I was like, hey, just want to pick your brain a little bit. Like, how did you do this? What were your steps? Like, and I told him, like, I keep having this like little whisper in the back of my head when I'm doing my meditation sessions about writing a book uh, and my story incorporated into that because I feel like I can take some of the functional medicine tools and apply them into those real life settings to help people say, okay, here's maybe a stressful time that I'm going through, but here are the tools that could help, or the tools I wish I had during those sessions. So that's kind of how it kind of developed and progressed. And then just, I don't know, when you put something out there into the universe, um, people kept being put in my path that kind of told me this is the right direction to go. So I met some, I'm, yeah, it was just a fortuitous change of uh, chain of events, excuse me. Um, and signed with Game Changer Publishing, which is a hybrid publishing company. So I've written part one. So how I envision my book to be is part one being in my 20s and how I was in an abusive marriage and how, you know, self-worth and how you get out of that and kind of redefine who you are because you can't go back to the person you were before that. And then accompany that story with some functional and integrated medicine tools to help you through that time. And then part two being entering my 30s, which, I'm out of that abusive marriage. I went to chiropractic school. Now I'm married to, my best friend, and we're hit with fertility issues and trying to have a family and how you deal with that stress and how it's, you hear about people going through fertility issues, but it's kind of kept quiet. Um, and, 1 in 4 women go through that. And then the challenges of redefining myself as, a wife. And so then fortuitously, we decide, well, not fortuitously, but we decided that, the risk factors weren't for us and that we just be the cool aunties and uncles, and ended up going on vacation and coming back with a souvenir, and 9 months later had our daughter. After years of, not being able to conceive. And then following the birth of my daughter, which she was a high risk pregnancy, and she was born a little early, but not terribly. She was about 3 weeks early, but she was perfect and healthy. And about 4 or 5 months postpartum, I lost all my hair, which I've had alopecia my whole life, and there's different degrees of alopecia. So it's an autoimmune disorder. And at first, like, I believe my mom said that I'd get, bald spots, of varying sizes starting when I was about 3 or 4. And they'd come and go throughout my life and through middle school. And I had a large episode of hair loss my senior year. I lost arm hair and leg hair, which I'm not going to complain about there, but I lost all the sides and around the back of my hair as well. And in high school, I did all the steroid injections and everything, medication and all of that and my hair grew back. Um, and I didn't really have a significant problem until about 4 or 5 months partum, which your hair naturally kind of sheds out at that time anyway, but mine just kind of continued to go and was like, peace. So I told my husband, I go, I'm not going to fight it. Like, where's your clippers? Like, will you just take the rest? And it hasn't come back since. Though I'm
It
starting to
hasn't.
have a little bit more hair growth now, but um, not a whole lot. So part two, redefining that decade on fertility and hair loss. Um, and then part three, as I go into my 40s and where I should be or where I thought I'd be would be cruising at this point. You know, I'd have my career, I'd have my family, I'd be cruising. And then I hit this big, layoff and the realization that I spent a decade building a practice, building a clinic for somebody else, and it could be just taken away from me like that. Um, and the things that I've done this past year and the tools that I've used on how to not live in that fear and to find joy in what I do again. So that's my memoir book in a nutshell.
Sounds fascinating. Do you have a working title?
I don't. And I've asked so many people about this because, like, a lot of people I've talked to and a lot of my friends that have published, they kind of had their title and then they kind of worked from that, where I feel like I'm putting together all the meat of it. And I feel like the title will come to me eventually. um, so,
I, yeah, you hear different trains of thought on that.
yeah,
A lot of people will tell you hold loosely to a working title and don't even sweat it until the end.
yeah,
Um, my first book I knew fairly early, not right away, but fairly early, and it stuck all the way through. So it's different for everybody. I wouldn't even put any stress on yourself about it. The right name will be there when it's time.
I feel that's how I feel. I feel it'll be an epiphany one day and be like, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So how close are you to you're in the third phase, right? Obviously,
I
or well, from a writing
I'm
perspective, maybe not. Where
from part one was the hardest part to write just because I a lot of it one I had to try to remember a lot of it because when we have traumatic or maybe things that we want to forget, we kind of have we forget about them.
hmm
um so
hmm
it was a very hard portion for me to write. I think it was therapeutic for me to write. But also like writing from a perspective too that, you know, I had a lot of other people in mind when I wrote it because I don't want my parents to read it and be feel like they weren't there for me or that I was implying that, or I don't want my brothers to read it and feel like, I'm so it was very tricky for me to kind of formulate and to write. So that part is like done and in editing. I'm halfway through part two. Um, I have all the, chapters laid out and it's just a me sitting down and writing. So
what's your time frame for having it done?
don't I would like by the end of the year to have it like done. That's my goal. Um, just because I I I have had a harder time than I thought it would be. Um,
hmm
and not necessarily the writing portion, but just the fear around sharing some things that are so personal, um,
hmm
and having to get over that fear. So
hmm Oh yeah, I have no doubt that you are personally growing leaps and bounds through the writing.
Oh, and I don't care if a stranger reads it. It's the people that know me that I'm more fearful of reading it than anything.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. Um, well, I can't wait till it comes out. I think it's going
Thank
to be
you.
fascinating. It sounds like you've broken it nicely with your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you have a lot to offer. You have a lot of experiences to offer. Um, it's I think it's gonna do well. I think a lot of
Thank
people
you.
are whoever picks it up is gonna be blessed by it. I have no doubt. What do you think's next? Is it family, farm, horses, chiropractic, writing a little bit? Is there something else over the horizon that you got your sights on that maybe you can give us a sneak peek? Or is it more the same? There's no wrong answer.
You know, I'm trying to kind of figure out how to like in- incorporate everything that I love into like one thing. And um, my days kind of include all of that. So like kind of a typical day for me is I get up, I will feed my horses, and then I will go teach one or two classes of Pilates, and then I'll go treat patients in clinic, and then I come home and I'll ride or, sit on the porch with my husband and uh, work in the garden or ride my horse and kind of repeat after that. Um, I love working with equestrians. Like that's been something that's like been really fun for me to do because it's a passion of mine, and then to help someone who's also passion of theirs is really fun. But just being
Yeah.
back in clinic and working with patients and helping them move better and feel better has been really joyful for me. Um, I have been working, and we actually just posted it yesterday, I think, or the day before, I can't remember. But a friend of mine is starting her um, like she has a farm about 30 minutes from me, and it's called Cowgirls Unlimited, and she has riding trails, and she just built a barn for people to come visit. They can stay there, and then bring their horse and go ride on trails. um, and so we're collaborating in September to do Pilates ponies and pork event. So uh, it'll be at her farm, and I'll teach a 50-minute mat Pilates class, and there'll be a bunch of vendors there that have one will be, we'll eat a bunch of pork. We'll have a cart that has offers, both mocktails and cocktails, and a vendor that has, hats. And then my husband will have a booth there for his chiropractic clinic and just kind of build community and kind of give back. So it'll be fun. So that's kind
Yeah, it
of,
sounds like a great time.
I would love to, you know, perhaps the book will, maybe more public speaking, and helping others above and beyond my community here in the Oregon area.
Yeah, I can see that for you. Public speaking, that's exciting. The event sounds exciting. Um, where can people find you on social media and learn more about what you're doing?
I I'm not very good at social media, but I have just my Instagram
Mhm.
page is at Dr. J.M. Graham, and that's D.R.J.M. as in Mary, Graeme. And
You,
so
and you
that's
gave
my
that to me,
only
so well, that's okay.
only link. I'm sorry. My
We'll
website isn't
include.
isn't ready yet, but eventually it'll be at drjmgraham.com. So
Awesome. We'll get the Instagram link included in the show notes. I want to thank you for being my guest. I want to say
oh,
something
thank you for having
specific.
me.
You when you were explaining a few minutes ago about the difficult first marriage, uh, you gave us a little glimpse into the infertility, and then the the connection that you had grown to love with the hospital, losing that job. I'm sure those are things that affected your self-worth greatly. But it's obvious that you have fought through them, continue to fight through them, are growing leaps and bounds by desiring to grow and learn from those events. And it's clear to me that you're very resilient, and that you care for people. And for someone that's a little on the younger side, I can say that because I'm older than you. That you've got a lot of life experience and a lot to offer people. So I want to thank you for sharing some of that with us today and being my new friend and an incredible guest. It's been wonderful having you today, Jordan.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to be on your podcast. So thank you.
You're awesome. Guys, I want to just close it out today by saying whatever you're going through, whatever season of life, it's a chapter. It's a chapter in your life story. It's a chapter of your book, of your memoir. And some of the best pages and chapters are still being written. So if you're going through a tough time right now, if you're struggling with self-worth, if you're struggling with just lifing, keep going. Don't do it alone. You are worthy of love, respect, and success, and your story's not over by a long shot. Hang in there. Guys, have an incredible weekend. Until next time, God bless.